cars you respect, and then there are cars you remember for the rest of your life. The 2026 Audi R8 isn't just another fast machine, it's a heartbeat on wheels. It's the last scream of a dying era, the kind of car that makes your pulse sync with its revs. When you press the start button and that V10 roars to life, it's not just noise, it's history breathing, one last time. But this isn't a nostalgia trip. This is Audi's final love letter to performance, to everything that made us fall in love with driving in the first place. The question is, has Audi created the perfect farewell, or is this the moment we say goodbye to something we'll never get back? When the first R8 launched back in 2006, it was Audi's moonshot, their way of saying, we belong up here with the legends. And it worked. The R8 became a symbol of attainable perfection, the supercar you could actually drive every day. For nearly 20 years, it's been the beating heart of Audi's performance lineup, the car that made engineers dream and drivers believe. Now, in 2026, that dream reaches its peak, and possibly its end. This R8 doesn't chase trends. It doesn't need electric gimmicks or AI to prove itself. What it has instead is soul, polished, perfected, and distilled into every curve, every sound, every heartbeat of that V10 engine. Let's start with what you see. The 2026 R8 looks like it was carved from speed itself. The body lines are sharper, cleaner, more confident. Every edge shaped by airflow, not ego. The front grille sits lower and wider, flanked by new laser matrix headlights that cut through the night like a blade. Walk around it and it feels like it's moving even when it's standing still. The air intakes are more aggressive, the stance more planted, and the rear diffuser looks ready to bite the tarmac. This car doesn't just look fast, it looks inevitable. Open the door and you're greeted with silence. That Audi kind of silence, where everything feels deliberate, purposeful. Inside, the R8 isn't loud, it's luxurious, it's confident. Every switch, every stitch feels like it was placed there with obsession. The digital cockpit has been refined for clarity and focus. No distractions, just you and the machine. You sit low, cocooned in Napa leather and carbon fiber, surrounded by craftsmanship that whispers quality instead of shouting about it. But then, you press start. The V10 awakens like a living thing, deep, raw, primal. No turbo hiss, no fake sound through speakers, just pure mechanical music. This 5.2-liter engine has been tuned to its final and fiercest form. 620 horsepower, 427 pound-feet of torque, and a soundtrack that no EV could ever replicate. The revs rise like a crescendo. The exhaust snarls with every shift, and for a moment, you forget about the world moving towards silence. Out on the open road, the R8 feels telepathic. The steering is so direct, so precise, it feels like your thoughts are turning the wheels. The chassis is perfectly balanced, and that Quattro system, the legend, keeps you pinned, confident, unstoppable. But here's the magic, it doesn't feel clinical. There's life in it. The tail dances just enough, the grip pushes your limits, and the feedback through the wheel makes every corner feel like an invitation. It's not just speed, it's connection. When you downshift into a bend and hear that rev-matched blip, it's not just mechanics, it's art. When the exhaust echoes off canyon walls, it's not just noise, it's memory. You start to realize that this isn't just a car you drive. It's a car that drives you into emotion, into nostalgia, into joy. Audi could have gone hybrid. They could have gone electric, but they didn't. They doubled down on what the R8 has always stood for: passion, purity, and perfection. And that choice alone makes this car heroic. Sure, it's not perfect. It's expensive, pushing past $180,000. It's not fuel efficient. And yes, the future is electric, but that's what makes it matter even more. Because one day you'll look back and realize this was one of the last great naturally aspirated engines. One of the last times you could feel combustion as more than just motion. Take it on a winding road, the kind with no traffic and no agenda, and the R8 transforms. The way the V10 builds power, the way the dual-clutch transmission cracks through gears, the way it stays flat and composed even when your heart isn't, it's perfection you can touch. You'll find yourself slowing down just to hear it again. You'll roll down the windows and let that sound wash over you, that raw mechanical symphony that reminds you why cars like this ever existed. Because deep down, it's not about speed. It's about feeling alive. And when you park it, when the engine ticks as it cools, there's this silence that hits differently. Because you know, you didn't just drive a car. You drove a moment in history. The 2026 Audi R8 is more than a machine. It's a love story between man, machine, and the road. It's Audi's final bow to a type of driving that's disappearing. The kind that connects your hands to your heart and your heart to the horizon. The pros? Everything that makes a car worth remembering. The sound, the design, the drive, the way it makes you feel unstoppable. The cons? Only that someday this experience won't exist anymore. So who is this car for? It's for the believer, the one who still looks back at their car after parking it. The one who takes the long way home just to chase the sunset. The one who believes cars aren't just built, they're born, because the R8 isn't here to compete. It's here to remind us why we fell in love with driving in the first place. And that's why, if you're watching this right now, if you've ever felt your chest tighten when an engine roars, if you've ever dreamed of driving not just to arrive, but to escape, then this channel is for you. Subscribe. Join the family and let's keep this passion alive. Because someday, when silence takes over the roads, we'll be the ones who remember how it felt to drive something that was truly alive. The 2026 Audi R8. Not just the end of an era, the beginning of a legacy. There are luxury cars, and then there's the 2026 Bentley Continental GTC Mulliner. A car that doesn't just move you, it changes the way you think about motion itself. This isn't a machine built for speed alone. It's built to make every journey feel like an occasion. When you see it glide past, you don't just turn your head, you stop and stare. Because this isn't transportation. This is art, sculpted in metal, wrapped in leather, and powered by legacy. The Continental GTC has always represented the very best of British Grand Touring. But this, the Mulliner version, takes that tradition and elevates it into something close to perfection. Mulliner, Bentley's in-house coach builder, is where craftsmanship meets obsession. Every stitch, every line, every glint of chrome is touched by human hands that refuse to settle for good enough. The 2026 GTC Mulliner is a statement that even in a world chasing automation, true luxury is still crafted, not coded. Let's begin with the exterior. From the moment you see it, the GTC Mulliner commands presence. The design is unmistakably Bentley, muscular yet elegant, powerful yet poised. The massive chrome grille sits like a crown jewel at the front, framed by those signature crystal-cut LED matrix headlights that shimmer like diamonds even when they're off. Every curve flows with intent, from the long, sculpted hood to the smooth, sweeping rear that gently folds into the deck lid. This car isn't just designed, it's composed. The soft-top roof, available in multiple color options, folds away in just 19 seconds, transforming the car from a refined coupe into an open-air symphony of wind and sound. With the roof down, you can see the details that define Mulliner craftsmanship: the polished chrome trim, the precision-cut vents, and the hand-finished Mulliner badging that quietly says, "This isn't ordinary." And then there are the wheels. The new 22-inch Mulliner alloys, with their precision machined finish and self-leveling center badges, look like they belong in a gallery. The stance is commanding, confident, and perfectly balanced. You don't drive this car fast because you have to. You drive it slow because you want people to see. Open the door and suddenly you're in another world. The cabin doesn't feel like an interior. It feels like a lounge handcrafted for royalty. Every surface, every seam, every inch tells a story of craftsmanship. The dual-tone leather design is breathtaking, stitched with Bentley's signature diamond quilting pattern, made with over 400,000 individual stitches, all done by hand. Even the embroidery in the seats takes hours of precise attention. The chrome organ stop air vents, the knurled aluminum dials, the polished wood veneers. It's an orchestra of texture and light. The dashboard is a piece of sculpture, elegant, flowing, and beautifully detailed. In front of you sits Bentley's rotating display, a 12.3-inch touchscreen that elegantly flips to reveal analog dials or a clean veneer panel, depending on your mood. It's not just clever, it's deeply satisfying. And the audio experience? a 20-speaker Naeem for Bentley sound system that turns every drive into a private concert hall. With the roof down, the sound doesn't fade. It wraps around you like warmth. But let's talk about the experience behind the wheel. Under that sculpted hood lies a powerhouse, Bentley's 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8, delivering 542 horsepower and 568 lb-ft of torque. It's not the brute force kind of power that slams you back in your seat. It's effortless. You glide, you surge, you rise, like a private jet on the tarmac. 0 to 60 happens in just over 4 seconds, but you'll never chase numbers in this car. You'll chase moments, sunsets, coastlines, mountain passes, and memories. The ride quality is sublime. Bentley's air suspension system constantly adjusts to the road beneath you, turning rough pavement into silk. You don't just drive this car, you float through the world. And when you want precision, Bentley's all-wheel drive system and adaptive chassis control make sure this 5,000-pound masterpiece handles with grace that defies its size. Whether you're cruising down Ocean Drive or carving through the Pacific Coast Highway, the GTC Mulliner feels like it's reading your thoughts. It's not just about how it drives, it's about how it makes you feel. You sit there, the world passing by in slow motion, the V8 humming like an orchestra at idle. The wind, the sound, the comfort, it's sensory perfection. This is what grand touring was always meant to be. The freedom to go anywhere, wrapped in elegance that turns every destination into an experience. The 2026 Bentley Continental GTC Mulliner isn't trying to keep up with trends. It's writing its own chapter. It's a car for those who value feel over flash, presence over pace. For those who believe luxury isn't about showing off. It's about slowing down. About taking the long road, not because you have to, but because you can. Of course, perfection comes with a price, and this level of craftsmanship doesn't come cheap. Expect it to start north of $300,000, but then again, that's not just what you're paying for. You're paying for time, for artistry, for silence, for the feeling that everything around you was made just for you. So, who is the 2026 GTC Mulliner really for? It's for the ones who still believe in elegance, the ones who understand that luxury isn't loud, it's lasting. The ones who know that when you're behind the wheel of something truly special, you don't need to prove anything. The car does it for you, and that's why this Bentley matters. Because in a world chasing speed, it chooses serenity. In a market chasing electric silence, it still sings with a soulful V8. It reminds us that craftsmanship, beauty, and emotion are still worth celebrating. If you felt something watching this, if you could almost smell the leather, feel the stitching, hear that subtle exhaust note, then this channel is for you. We make videos not just for car lovers, but for people who believe cars can still move the soul. So before you go, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and join our growing family of car enthusiasts who appreciate the rare, the beautiful, the unforgettable. Because cars like the 2026 Bentley Continental GTC Mulliner don't just get built, they get remembered, and trust me, this is one you'll never forget. For half a century, one name has whispered through the garages, drag strips, and backroads of America: Nova. It was the underdog muscle car that punched far above its weight, the street racer's secret weapon, the blue-collar dream that could outrun almost anything for half the price. And now, it's back. The 2026 Chevrolet Nova SS 454 Big Block isn't just a return, it's a revival of defiance. A message from Chevy that raw power, steel, and soul still belong in an era obsessed with silence and screens. But here's the question on every enthusiast's mind. Is this new Nova truly the reincarnation of the legend? Or just a nameplate revived for nostalgia? Let's find out, because what you're about to see might just change what you believe about American muscle. To understand why the 2026 Nova SS matters, you have to go back to the roots, to 1968, when the Nova became the people's performance car. It wasn't flashy like the Corvette, or monstrous like the Chevelle. It was compact, lightweight, and brutally quick, especially when someone dropped a big block under that simple hood, the infamous 454. That engine didn't just make power, it made legends. But as the years rolled by, Emissions, insurance, and modern trends buried the Nova name under layers of forgotten history. The world moved on. Hybrids, EVs, and algorithms took over. The sound of a real big block became a ghost. Until now, Chevrolet's engineers, backed by the Heritage Division that helped build the Camaro ZL1 and Corvette 06, decided to bring back the Nova, but not as a marketing gimmick. As a statement, the 2026 Nova SS454 Big Block is their answer to a world that forgot what it means to feel horsepower. It's aimed squarely at purists, drivers who want to hear the engine before they even see the car. And from the moment you lay eyes on it, you know this isn't nostalgia dressed in plastic. It's a car built with intent, a machine that looks back at the 70s and then hits fast forward with 21st century precision. But does it live up to its legendary name? Let's take a closer look. From the first glance, the 2026 Chevrolet Nova SS looks like it means business. It's bold, low, and aggressive, with that unmistakable Chevy muscle DNA baked into every line. The front end is pure intimidation, a squared-off grille inspired by the 1970 Nova, blacked out with a floating SS badge at the center. Dual LED beams pierce through the darkness like headlights from a muscle ghost. Below, a massive front splitter and functional vents channel air straight to the 454's hungry heart. The profile keeps things clean: long hood, short deck, wide stance. A silhouette that looks fast even at a standstill. The fenders bulge with confidence, hugging 20-inch forged wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Move to the rear, and the story gets even better. Quad exhaust tips thunder out from a sculpted diffuser, while the LED taillights echo the old-school square layout that every Nova fan remembers. Subtle chrome touches remind you this isn't just performance, it's heritage reborn. But pop that hood, and the legend comes alive. Underneath sits a 7.4-liter naturally aspirated big block V8, the modern 454. Hand-assembled, aluminum block, direct injection, 625 horsepower, and a jaw-dropping 620 lb-ft of torque. No hybrid assist, no electric gimmicks, just raw, unfiltered mechanical power, the kind that shakes the ground and your soul. And yes, it's available with a 6-speed manual transmission. Because Chevy knows, real drivers shift their own fate. Inside, the Nova's cabin strikes a rare balance between old-school grit and modern comfort. The dashboard is minimal, driver-focused, and wrapped in suede and carbon fiber. The analog-style gauges pay tribute to the 70s, while a center touchscreen floats seamlessly, offering Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a performance telemetry suite straight from the Corvette. The seats? Bolstered leather with SS embroidery. They hold you like a race harness but comfort you like a cruiser. Drive it, and the Nova feels alive. It's surprisingly refined. The adaptive dampers soak up bumps, but when you switch to Sport Plus mode, everything changes. The throttle sharpens, the steering tightens, and that 454 roars like it's been waiting decades to wake up Tunnel Row 60. Just 3.6 seconds. Quarter mile? Mid-11s, but those are just numbers. The feeling is what sells it. Every gear shift, every crack of the exhaust, makes you smile like a kid seeing their first burnout. And just when you think you've felt it all, Chevy teases something more. A rumored Super Sport R Edition, possibly supercharged, pushing 700 plus horsepower, but that's for another video. Out on the open highway, the new Nova SS454 stops being just a car. It becomes a statement. You turn the key, and that big block comes alive with a deep, thunderous growl that sends chills through your spine. Every rev feels personal, mechanical, not digital. The steering wheel trembles, the rear tires squirm, and you can smell raw gasoline and nostalgia in the air. You punch it, and suddenly, the world turns into a blur of torque and adrenaline. First gear, gone. Second, traction barely holds. Third, you're flying. The sound, it's not a note. It's a roar of rebellion. Every curve feels controlled but alive. The Nova doesn't just go fast, it fights the road, demanding your attention, your respect, your full focus. And that's what makes it beautiful. It's not about perfection. It's about passion. Chevy could have gone the easy route, slapped the Nova badge on an EV or a Turbo 4 coupe. But they didn't. They gave us a real V8 monster in 2026. In a time when most brands are surrendering to silence, Chevy lit the fuse again, and in that moment, as the sun sets, engine echo fading, you realize this isn't just a car launch. It's a cultural reset. The Nova is proof that muscle still has a pulse. So what's the verdict on the 2026 Chevrolet Nova SS 454 Big Block? It's loud. It's unapologetic. It's everything modern cars are afraid to be. And that's exactly why it works. Let's be honest, it's not perfect. It's thirsty. It's heavy. And if you're looking for lane-keeping assists or quiet eco modes, you're in the wrong video. But if you care about feeling something real when you drive, if you still believe cars should have soul, then this machine is your anthem. The Nova SS gives you the power of a muscle car with the control of a modern sports coupe. It's built for purists, for those who still believe a steering wheel should fight back a little, and an exhaust should make your heart race before your foot even hits the pedal. It's a statement that says, we're not done yet. That the American muscle spirit isn't fading, it's evolving, roaring back with modern engineering and old-school heart. And here's the truth. The world needs cars like this, because every time one like the Nova is born, it reminds us why we fell in love with driving in the first place. So, what do you think? Is the 2026 Nova SS the true rebirth of American muscle, or just a glorious farewell before everything goes electric? Tell me in the comments, because I want to know where you stand. And if this car stirred even a bit of that old-school fire inside you. Don't just watch, become part of this family. Hit that like button, subscribe, and join our community of dreamers, drivers, and believers. Because as long as people like you keep watching, the roar of the Nova will never die. There are cars that make you turn your head. And then there are cars that make your heart stop. This is one of them. The legend, the myth, the name that echoes through every generation of American muscle. The Shelby GT500 has returned. And this time in 2026, it's not just a car, it's a final statement. A declaration that raw power, thunderous emotion, and American spirit are still alive. The new 2026 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 isn't here to blend in. It's here to burn everything in its path. From the very first glance, you can feel the rage pulsing through its veins. That wide, predatory stance, the carbon fiber snarl of the front grille, those laser-sharp headlights that look like eyes ready to hunt. This car doesn't drive on roads. It owns them. You can almost hear it whisper, "I'm back." Under the hood lies something truly unholy. A 5.2-liter supercharged V8, codenamed Predator 2.0. But this isn't the same monster you knew before. This one's angrier, smarter, more precise. Over 850 horsepower, capable of launching from 0 to 60 in a heart-stopping 2.8 seconds. That's not just performance. That's a statement of dominance. And when that supercharger screams, you don't just hear it, you feel it in your bones. It's that same roar that once defined a generation of muscle lovers. Except now, it's sharper, louder, and more alive than ever before. But Ford didn't just build a fast car. They built a weapon. Every inch of this machine has purpose. The air flows perfectly through sculpted body lines. The massive vents feed its hungry lungs. The spoiler claws the ground with aerodynamic precision. Even the exhaust, tuned by Shelby engineers, sounds like it's tearing through dimensions. And then you step inside. It's not a cabin, it's a cockpit. A perfect fusion of aggression and artistry. Digital gauges that come alive with every rev. The flat-bottom Alcantara steering wheel that fits like a glove. The Recaro seats that grip your soul every time you push it past 7,000 RPM. Everything inside the GT500 screams one message: this is where legends drive. But what makes the 2026 Shelby truly special isn't just numbers, or carbon fiber, or how fast it kills the quarter mile. It's what it represents. Because this might be the last pure-blooded Shelby before the world goes fully electric. No fake noise, no silence, no compromise, just pure combustion, raw, untamed, unapologetic. It's the sound of history refusing to fade away. This car isn't for everyone. It's for those who still get goosebumps at the sound of a cold start. For those who believe cars have souls that machines can feel. It's for the dreamers, the rebels, the believers in freedom on four wheels. And if you've ever stood on the side of a drag strip and felt your heart shake from the rumble of an engine, then you know, This isn't just metal and rubber. It's emotion. It's heritage. It's America's roar. The 2026 GT500 isn't trying to compete with anyone. It's a message to the world. You can make cars smarter, faster, quieter, but you'll never make them feel like this. And once you experience it, once you hear that supercharger scream down a lonely highway, you'll understand why this legend will never die. Because legends don't retire. They evolve. They adapt. They return stronger than ever. And when you see one on the road, when you hear that deep, thunderous growl closing in behind you, you won't mistake it for anything else. You'll just know when the beast is back. The price? Around $90,000 to $110,000. But how do you put a price on something that carries history in every rev? This isn't just a car. It's a living, breathing time capsule of power and passion. And here's the truth. In a world where engines are going silent, the Shelby GT500 refuses to whisper. It roars for all of us who still believe in the sound of speed. And maybe that's why this car hits so deep. Because it's not just the end of an era, it's a goodbye with fireworks. So if you're watching this right now, if your heart raced even once in this video, then you're part of this story. You're part of that small group who still believes that cars are more than transportation. They're emotion, their rebellion, their freedom on four wheels. And if that's you, don't just watch. Join the family. Hit that subscribe button, not just for this video, but for what it stands for. For passion, for power, for the sound of America's last great muscle roar echoing through time. Let's keep this legend alive, together, because once you've heard the scream of a Shelby GT500, there's no going back. And trust me, you wouldn't want to. The 2026 Mustang GT isn't just another refresh. It's a statement from Ford that the American muscle era isn't going anywhere. With more power, smarter tech, and a design that looks like it came straight from a concept car, this Mustang is rewriting what GT really means. But here's the wild part. Some of its biggest upgrades aren't under the hood at all. Is this still the Mustang purists love? Or has Ford built something completely new for a different kind of driver? Let's find out. For nearly 6 decades, the Ford Mustang has been the symbol of American performance. A car that's evolved from classic muscle to a modern-day powerhouse. But now, in 2026, Ford is facing its biggest challenge yet. How to keep that raw, rebellious Mustang spirit alive in an era dominated by electric crossovers and hybrid efficiency. The all-new Mustang GT isn't about starting over. It's about proving that old school power can still dominate a high-tech world. With a sharper design, smarter cabin, and a reworked V8 that promises even more muscle, Ford says this GT is their most advanced Mustang ever. But does it deliver on that promise, or is it just another facelift in disguise? In the next few minutes, we'll break down what's new, what's changed, and whether this Mustang truly earns its GT badge in 2026. From the moment you see it, the 2026 Mustang GT demands attention. Ford didn't just tweak the body, they reimagined it. The front end is sharper, more aggressive, with that signature tri-bar LED lighting giving off a menacing stare. The sculpted hood lines flow into wider fenders, while the rear keeps that unmistakable fastback silhouette that screams Mustang from every angle. It's not trying to look like a retro muscle car anymore. It's a modern performance machine with attitude. Step inside, and you'll immediately feel the shift towards sophistication. Gone are the hard plastics and cluttered buttons of older generations. In their place, a sweeping digital cockpit that feels straight out of a fighter jet. The 13.2-inch touchscreen and 12.4-inch digital cluster are seamlessly connected, running on Ford's latest Sync 5 system. Everything from drive modes to exhaust tuning is customizable, giving drivers more control than ever before. The materials finally match the car's price tag. Soft touch leather, optional Recaro sport seats, and ambient lighting that brings the interior to life at night. Now, let's talk about what's under the hood, the heart of any Mustang. Ford's legendary 5.0-liter Coyote V8 is back, and this time it's packing around 500 horsepower. That makes it the most powerful, naturally aspirated Mustang GT ever built. The throttle response is sharper, the exhaust note more refined, and with the new dual air intake system, it breathes easier at high revs. You can pair it with a 10-speed automatic or a 6-speed manual for those who still crave that old-school connection. On the road, the difference is immediate. The new chassis tuning and optional MagneRide suspension make the GT more composed than ever. It grips through corners with a confidence that rivals some European sports cars, yet still delivers that raw, rear-wheel drive excitement Mustang fans love. Whether you're carving through canyon roads or blasting down a straight stretch of highway, the 2026 GT feels balanced, fast, and alive. Technology is another area where Ford stepped up big. There's a customizable drift brake, track apps built into the infotainment, and advanced driver assist features like adaptive cruise and lane centering for when you're not pushing it to the limit. Even the sound system, a 12-speaker B&O setup, transforms the cabin into a mini concert hall. But with all these upgrades, a question lingers. Can this new tech-filled GT still connect with purists who crave that mechanical edge? And how does its performance stack up against rivals like the Camaro SS or Dodge's next-gen muscle cars? We'll get into that next, and the answer might surprise you. Now here's where the 2026 Mustang GT really shows what it's made of. Out on the open road, that new 5.0-liter V8 feels every bit as ferocious as you'd hope, and maybe even more. The instant you hit the throttle, the car surges forward with a clean, relentless pull, roaring past 7,000 RPM like it's begging for more. The new dual air intakes breathe life into every gear, and with the manual transmission, each shift feels mechanical, deliberate, and deeply satisfying. The kind of connection that reminds you why people still love gasoline engines. But it's not just raw power anymore. The steering is more precise, the suspension more forgiving when you need comfort, yet perfectly dialed in when you switch to track mode. The GT dances through corners instead of wrestling them, and that's something no previous generation could truly claim. Ford has somehow built a car that's both wild and refined, muscle with manners. Still, it's not all perfect. The weight is noticeable in tight turns, and while the MagneRide system helps, it can't fully hide that old-school heft. Fuel economy? Let's just say this Mustang still drinks like it's 1969. And with a price tag pushing north of $50,000, it's entering territory where competitors offer more tech and efficiency. But here's the twist. When you're behind the wheel, none of that really matters. The sound, the power, the feel of the road, it's intoxicating. It's the kind of car that makes you take the long way home just to hear that exhaust one more time. So the real question isn't whether the 2026 Mustang GT keeps the muscle legacy alive. It's whether any other modern sports car can still make you feel disconnected. Let's break that down in the verdict. So, after spending time with the 2026 Mustang GT, one thing is crystal clear. Ford isn't just keeping the muscle car dream alive. It's evolving it for a new generation. This car bridges two worlds, the analog thrill of raw horsepower and the digital precision of modern performance tech. It's not perfect, but that's part of its charm. The pros are undeniable, that 500 horsepower V8, the sharper chassis, the high-tech cockpit, and the unmistakable Mustang attitude that still turns heads wherever it goes. It's faster, smarter, and more refined than ever before. But the drawbacks are just as real. It's heavy, thirsty, and creeping into price territory where some buyers might cross-shop with European options offering more luxury or efficiency. So who is this car really for? It's for the drivers who want to feel something every time they start the engine. For those who still believe that performance is about sound, sensation, and soul, not silence and range anxiety. The 2026 GT might not be the future of transportation, but it's absolutely the future of the Mustang legacy. In today's market full of hybrids and EVs, this car is a bold statement that emotion still matters, that passion still sells, and that Ford isn't ready to let go of what makes driving fun. Whether it's the last of its kind or the first of a new breed, this Mustang reminds us why we fell in love with cars in the first place. But what do you think? Has Ford nailed the perfect balance of tradition and innovation? Or should the Mustang evolve even further? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you enjoyed the review, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth car breakdowns just like this one. They said legends never die, but even legends can fade until someone dares to bring them back. For over 2 decades, the name Oldsmobile Cutlass 442 has echoed through garages, car meets, and American streets like a ghost from the golden era of muscle. And now, in 2026, that ghost has thundered back to life, louder, prouder, and angrier than ever. This isn't just a car. It's a resurrection, a reminder of what American power truly feels like. But here's the real question. Did Oldsmobile just create the perfect blend of heritage and horsepower? Or did they chase nostalgia too far? Let's dive in and find out. Setup: 350 words, 1 to 3 minutes. To understand why the 2026 Oldsmobile Cutlass 442 matters so much, you have to go back to what it represented. In the late 60s and early 70s, the 442 wasn't just a car, it was an attitude. It was confidence on wheels, Detroit steel roaring down open highways, the kind of machine that made every stoplight feel like a challenge. When Oldsmobile disappeared in 2004, enthusiasts thought that spirit was gone forever. Decades passed, and the world turned to quiet hybrids and electric SUVs. But deep down, the muscle car crowd kept asking one question: will we ever feel that fire again? Fast forward to 2026, and the answer is here. GM has resurrected Oldsmobile under its Heritage Performance division, and the new Cutlass 442 is their boldest statement yet. It's designed to blend vintage aggression with 21st century precision. The goal? To remind the world what raw American engineering still looks and sounds like. From the moment you see it, you can tell this isn't just another marketing gimmick. It's a love letter to every driver who grew up dreaming of chrome, horsepower, and thunder. And today, we're going to find out if this reborn 442 truly lives up to the legend, or if it's just chasing ghosts. Rising action, 350 words, 3 to 7 minutes. The moment you see the 2026 Oldsmobile Cutlass 442, you realize it's got presence. That long hood stretches like it's ready to pounce, the squared shoulders scream dominance, and those quad exhausts tell you it's not here to play nice. The designers clearly studied the classics. You can see inspiration from the 1970 W30, the sculpted hood vents, the split grille with that iconic 442 badging, and the muscular fender arches. But it's been modernized beautifully. LED lighting, active aero, and a stance that's pure aggression. Underneath that bold skin sits something even more exciting. A 6.4-liter big block V8, tuned to unleash over 500 horsepower and 480 lb-ft of torque. And the sound? It's the kind that makes your chest vibrate before your ears even process it. GM paired it with an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. But for purists, yes, there's a 6-speed manual option. Because legends deserve to be driven, not just controlled. Slide inside, and nostalgia meets the future. Leather-wrapped performance seats with classic red stitching, brushed metal finishes, and a digital cluster that pays tribute to the analog gauges of the past. The infotainment screen? It's sharp and seamless, but not overdone. This is still a driver's car first, and a tech pod second. But here's where things get wild. The 442's Performance Drive Select system. It lets you shift personalities, from classic cruise to track fury. In track mode, everything sharpens. Throttle response, suspension stiffness, steering weight. It's like the car transforms from a calm cruiser to a beast unleashed. And let's talk performance. 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. Top speed near 180 mph and a quarter-mile time under 12 seconds. But numbers don't tell the full story. Emotion does. When you floor it, you feel the soul of 1970 roaring through 2026. Yet it's not all nostalgia. The 442 has adaptive dampers, lane assist, and an intelligent traction control system, meaning it's not just powerful, it's composed. This is muscle, evolved. Still, there's one question burning in every enthusiast's mind. Can a revived Oldsmobile feel authentic in today's world? Stay with me, because what happens next might just surprise you. Climax, 220, 430 words, 2 to 3 minutes. The moment of truth arrives. The 442 rolls onto the test track, and the world quiets down for just a second. Then, ignition. That deep growl fills the air, and suddenly, every gearhead within earshot turns their head. As you grip the wheel and hit the throttle, the tires bite hard. No hesitation, no delay, just raw, instant power. The exhaust note climbs like a symphony of chaos, each shift delivering that punch that reminds you. This is how cars used to feel. Around corners, the adaptive suspension surprises you. It's not the sloppy muscle of old. It's sharp, responsive, confident. You can dance with it. It's muscle with manners. But there's something more powerful happening here. Emotion. The kind of emotion that makes you smile mid-drive. That makes your heart race when you realize you're part of a comeback story, decades in the making. It's like driving through time, the past roaring alongside the present. And when you park it, shut the engine off, and hear that ticking sound of the cooling block, you get goosebumps, because it hits you. This isn't a copy. This isn't nostalgia for profit. This is the real thing. Resolution and impact, 224 and 20 words, 2-3 minutes. So here's the verdict. The 2026 Oldsmobile Cutlass 442 isn't just a return. It's a rebirth. A statement to the world that American muscle still has a heartbeat, and it's louder than ever. The pros? That breathtaking design, the pure mechanical thrill of its V8, and the soul-stirring connection it creates between driver and machine. The cons? It's thirsty, it's loud, and it's unapologetically old school, but that's exactly why it's special. Starting at around $59,000. The 442 isn't cheap, but legends never are. And for that price, you're not just buying a car, you're buying emotion, you're buying heritage. You're buying a piece of American history that refuses to fade quietly. In a world moving towards silence, the 442 reminds us why sound matters, why feeling matters. So if this car stirred something inside you, that spark of excitement, that nostalgia, that heartbeat that says, damn, I miss real cars, then hit that like button. Drop a comment and subscribe, because on this channel, we don't just review cars, we celebrate the machines that move our souls. Tell me below, would you take the new 442 over a Camaro or Mustang? Do you think this revival does justice to the legend? Your voice matters, because this isn't just my review, it's our story. The story of American power, reborn for a new generation. For decades, the Plymouth GTX symbolized untamed American muscle. Loud, proud, and unapologetically powerful. Now, after years in the shadows, it's back. And it's not here to play nice. The 2026 GTX promises to combine classic V8 thunder with modern-day performance and tech. But the question is, does it truly live up to its legendary name? Or is this just another nostalgia-driven reboot for attention? Today, we're taking a deep dive into what could be the boldest American comeback of the decade. And by the end, you'll know whether this car is the real deal, or just another ghost of the past. The Plymouth GTX has always been more than just a car. It was a statement. Born in the late 1960s, it carried an attitude that defined American performance: brute power, wide stance, and unmistakable presence. But as emissions tightened and markets shifted, the GTX quietly disappeared into history books, leaving behind only echoes of burnout smoke and garage legends. Now in 2026, Plymouth, under the Stellantis umbrella, is bringing back the GTX with a mission: to remind America what raw performance feels like. Positioned between classic muscle nostalgia and modern performance practicality, this car targets drivers who crave emotion behind the wheel, not just efficiency or luxury. Its comeback couldn't have arrived at a better time. With electric crossovers and silent performance EVs dominating headlines, enthusiasts have been yearning for something mechanical, something visceral, something alive. The 2026 GTX promises exactly that. And while the design screams heritage, every inch of this car has been rebuilt for the modern era, from its aerodynamic body lines to its tech-packed cockpit. So, the real question isn't whether the GTX looks the part, it's whether it can perform like one. Because the next few minutes are going to reveal just how much of that old-school soul still roars beneath this modern skin. At first glance, the 2026 Plymouth GTX doesn't just turn heads, it demands attention. The front end is a masterclass in retro aggression, a wide grille inspired by the '69 model, flanked by razor-sharp LED headlights that cut through the air like twin daggers. The hood bulge returns, complete with functional heat extractors that hint at the beast underneath. Even standing still, it looks fast, like it's straining at the leash. Move to the side, and the proportions tell the real story. It sits lower, wider, and more planted than ever before. Massive 20-inch forged alloys fill the arches, wrapped in high-performance Michelin rubber. The stance screams control. The rear design ties it all together. Quad exhausts, a sculpted diffuser, and those unmistakable GTX taillights reborn in glowing LED signature form. Step inside, and the transformation continues. Gone is the Spartan muscle of the past. In its place, a cockpit that blends tradition with technology. You'll find suede and leather upholstery, a flat-bottom steering wheel with retro stitching, and a fully digital gauge cluster that morphs based on drive mode. The infotainment system supports wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. But what really stands out is the new Driver Pulse mode, a system that syncs throttle response, exhaust tuning, and suspension stiffness in real time to mirror your driving rhythm. Under the hood sits what Plymouth calls the Hemistorm V8, a 6.4-liter, naturally aspirated monster pushing over 500 horsepower. It's paired with an 8-speed automatic, but purists will be happy to know a manual version is rumored for later in the lineup. On the road, early testers claim it feels like a blend of vintage muscle and modern track machine. Brutal acceleration with surprisingly precise handling. Safety hasn't been ignored either. Adaptive cruise, blind spot assist, and emergency braking come standard. Fuel economy isn't its strong suit, but let's be honest, that's not why you buy a GTX. The purpose here is thrill, sound, and emotion. But the real surprise? It's not just power, it's balance. The chassis tuning feels mature, refined even. It wants to go fast, but it also wants you to feel confident while doing it. Still, we're saving the most shocking revelation for what happens when you actually push this car to its limits. The ignition roars to life, and within seconds, you know this isn't just a rebranded memory, it's a rebirth. The GTX's engine note is deep, thunderous, and raw, echoing the golden era of Detroit muscle, but with modern precision. On the open track, it launches from 0 to 60 in just 3.8 seconds, a figure that plants it firmly among modern performance greats. The acceleration pins you back, yet the steering stays shockingly composed. Every corner reveals how much engineering has evolved since the 60s. The weight feels balanced, the suspension tuned perfectly between aggression and control. It's fast, yes, but it's also smart. What truly surprises is the refinement. The cabin remains calm, even as the engine bellows. The adaptive dampers soak up imperfections without killing the excitement. It's the kind of car that makes you grin uncontrollably. The kind that makes you want to find the longest stretch of road and just keep driving. But here's the twist. It's not just nostalgia that makes the GTX shine. It's its ability to stand toe-to-toe with modern icons like the Dodge Challenger Hellcat or even the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. Somehow, it manages to deliver heart-pounding speed without sacrificing control or composure. Still, the question lingers. Is all this enough to cement the GTX as more than just a comeback story? Because while it's proven it can roar with the best of them, the true test will be whether it can evolve with a market that's racing toward electrification. That's the conversation we'll wrap up next, where power meets perspective. After spending time with the 2026 Plymouth GTX, one thing becomes undeniable. This isn't a retro gimmick. It's a statement that old-school muscle can still rule in a digital age. The GTX delivers everything you'd hope for from a modern performance car. Raw horsepower, head-turning design, and that visceral connection you just don't get from silent EVs. The pros are clear: breathtaking acceleration, stunning craftsmanship, and a sense of identity that's been missing from many new cars. The cons: pricing may sting, and its thirst for fuel will turn away some daily drivers. But for enthusiasts who crave authenticity over algorithms, the GTX speaks directly to the soul. In a market obsessed with efficiency, the GTX reminds us that cars are supposed to make us feel something. It's not about silence, it's about sound. It's not about restraint, it's about release. This car doesn't apologize for being loud, fast, and full of character. And in 2026, that's a rebellion worth celebrating. So, what do you think? Has Plymouth truly revived the muscle car spirit? Or is this just one last roar before the electric takeover? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more powerful American legends, just like this one. They said the era of raw, untamed muscle was over, but Dodge just broke the rules again. The 2026 Dodge Charger Hellcat Hemi isn't just a car, it's a statement, a roar of rebellion in an age that's going silent. While the world races toward hybrids and EVs, Dodge slammed its fist on the table and said, "Not yet." This is what happens when passion, power, and legacy collide at full throttle. But here's the real shocker. This new Hellcat doesn't just keep the muscle spirit alive. It amplifies it in ways nobody expected. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this might be the last true Hellcat we ever see. Setup. The Charger name has always carried weight. From the classic 60s legends to the modern street monsters that ruled drag strips and hearts alike. Now Dodge brings us something both familiar and radically new. The 2026 Hellcat Hemi. The perfect storm between tradition and transformation. Under the hood, Dodge engineers didn't just chase horsepower. They chased an emotion. The feeling you get when raw torque pins you to the seat and that unmistakable V8 thunder shakes your chest. This car doesn't whisper luxury, it screams legacy. But here's what makes it even more fascinating. While other brands are toning down, Dodge went all in one last time. And just wait till you see how they've reimagined this beast's design. It's not just a facelift. It's a tribute to every Charger that came before, with a new level of aggression that'll make you stare twice. Rising action. Now let's talk performance. Because this isn't just about looks. The 2026 Hellcat Hemi is rumored to push over 800 horsepower, making it one of the most powerful sedans ever built. Dodge didn't hold back. The sound, the stance, the soul, all refined to perfection. The new air induction system, redesigned aerodynamics, and lighter frame mean it's faster, angrier, and more responsive than ever. Step inside, and you'll feel the contrast. Brutal power outside, refined precision inside. Dodge loaded it with premium materials, digital displays, and racing-inspired details that wrap around you like a cockpit. Every button, every dial screams purpose. This isn't just a machine, it's a time capsule for car lovers who refuse to let go of the golden age of muscle. But here's the twist. Dodge knows this could be the final chapter before electrification takes over completely. And instead of fading quietly, they've made this model a celebration. A love letter to those who still believe cars should sound alive. Just when you think you've seen it all, the real surprise hits. There's talk of limited production, collector-only versions, and special edition colorways that pay homage to the early Hellcat years. It's nostalgia reimagined, but with teeth sharper than ever. Climax. And then comes that moment. Ignition. The sound of the supercharged V8 firing up in the 2026 Hellcat Hemi isn't just noise. It's emotion. That deep, growling rumble sends chills down your spine. It's the kind of sound that makes you pause everything, because you realize this might be the last time we hear something this raw from a production car. Every acceleration test, every curve, every burnout feels like Dodge saying, "We're not done yet." The car's grip, balance, and power delivery are unreal. It almost feels unfair. And when you see it take off, tires screaming, exhaust popping, it's more than just performance. It's defiance. By the time this thing hits the streets, it's not just going to turn heads, it's going to break necks. And that's what makes this reveal so emotional. You're watching the end of an era, but in the most epic way possible. Resolution and impact. So here's the truth. The 2026 Dodge Charger Hellcat Hemi isn't just another car. It's a symbol. It's Dodge's final salute to muscle car history before the electric future takes over. It's for the ones who grew up loving the sound of engines, not silence. For those who believe cars should make you feel something every time you touch the throttle. Sure, it may not be the most eco-friendly or tech-advanced, but it's pure heart, raw emotion, and unapologetic power. And that's something the world won't see again anytime soon. So if you're watching this and your pulse is racing a little faster, it's because you get it. This is more than just a car review. It's a goodbye letter to muscle, written in tire smoke and engine growl. Before we end, let me ask you this. When everything goes electric, what will you miss most? The speed or the sound? If this Hellcat stirred something inside you, hit that like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we're not done telling the stories of machines that still make us feel alive. Imagine a car that vanished from the muscle car scene decades ago, only to return in 2026 with more power, sharper design, and a presence bold enough to challenge the legends of Detroit once again. The AMC Rebel machine isn't just a comeback. It's a statement that American muscle still knows how to evolve without losing its raw edge. But is this reborn icon truly ready to stand toe-to-toe with today's heavy hitters? Or is it riding more on nostalgia than real muscle? Stay tuned, because what we uncover next might just change the way you look at this comeback story. The car we're looking at today is more than just another 2026 release. It's the return of a nameplate that once symbolized raw power, individuality, and a rebellious spirit on American roads. The AMC Rebel machine, originally launched in the early 70s, carved out a place in muscle car history with bold styling and an attitude that stood apart from its big three rivals. Fast forward to 2026, and AMC's revival of the Rebel machine feels less like a nostalgic nod and more like a bold declaration that American muscle still has fresh chapters to write. What makes this launch especially interesting is the timing. The US market is shifting rapidly, with buyers torn between high-performance tradition and modern efficiency. Dodge is pushing the limits of electrification with its Charger Daytona, Ford is doubling down on Mustang heritage, and Chevrolet is balancing performance with practicality. Into this landscape enters the Rebel machine, a car that has to prove it's not just here to revive old memories, but to compete head-on with today's fiercest contenders. From the first glance, the 2026 Rebel machine looks like it belongs in that fight. Its wide stance, aggressive lines, and unmistakable muscle car silhouette immediately grab attention, yet there's a sense that this isn't just a retro throwback. The question is, does it have the substance under the hood, in the cabin, and on the road to back up its bold looks? That's exactly what we're about to find out as we break down every detail of this new chapter in American muscle. From the moment you see the 2026 AMC Rebel machine, it's clear this isn't just a nameplate revival. It's a full-force return to the muscle car spotlight. The exterior styling is unapologetically bold, with a wide front grille framed by modern LED lighting that still hints at the squared-off aggression of its 70s ancestor. A muscular hood bulge, sculpted side panels, and a stance that seems to hug the pavement give it a commanding presence on the street. Even parked, the Rebel machine looks like it's itching to launch forward. And if the bold striping and retro-inspired color schemes don't grab you, the deep exhaust note will. Step inside, and the car reveals another side of its personality. The cabin is far more refined than anything AMC produced in its heyday. Premium materials cover the dash and door panels, while digital screens are neatly blended with physical controls, so it still feels like a driver's car, not a rolling tablet. Supportive bucket seats hug you tight, and there's enough modern tech here to rival Ford and Dodge. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a customizable 12-inch driver display, and advanced driver assist features that quietly remind you this car belongs in 2026, not 1970. But of course, the heart of the Rebel machine is what's under the hood. AMC has equipped it with a 6.4-liter naturally aspirated V8, pushing out 485 horsepower and 470 lb-ft of torque, numbers that put it right in line with the Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack and comfortably ahead of the base Mustang GT. Power is sent to the rear wheels through either a 6-speed manual for purists or an 8-speed automatic for those who want everyday usability. The result? A projected 0 to 60 time in the low 4-second range, with a quarter mile that dips solidly into the 12s. Not the absolute fastest muscle car on the market, but definitely quick enough to earn respect. Handling is another area where the Rebel machine surprises. AMC has tuned the suspension to balance everyday comfort with cornering confidence, and the optional performance package adds adaptive dampers, Brembo brakes, and stickier tires. It won't outdance a Camaro SS1LE on a racetrack, but it's composed, confident, and far less of a blunt instrument than you might expect from a revived classic. And here's where things get interesting. While Dodge is going hybrid and electric, the Rebel machine doubles down on a naturally aspirated V8. That move alone might divide buyers, but for purists, it could be the strongest selling point of all. Fuel economy, of course, isn't groundbreaking, around 15 mpg city and 23 mpg highway. But let's be honest, nobody's buying this car for its efficiency. What buyers will care about is the price, and while AMC hasn't revealed exact numbers yet, early reports suggest a starting point just under $50,000. That would undercut both Dodge and Ford in similar trims, which could make the Rebel machine a very tempting option for buyers looking for maximum muscle per dollar. So the question becomes, can this car truly deliver on its promise of being more than just nostalgia dressed in modern clothing? The numbers are solid, the looks are striking, and the experience behind the wheel feels raw yet refined. But does it have enough to stand out in a market that's moving rapidly toward electrification and efficiency? That's exactly where we'll go next, and the answer might surprise you. And here's where everything we've been waiting for comes together: the real-world drive. The moment you press the throttle on the 2026 AMC Rebel machine, there's no hesitation. The V8 roars to life with a raw, mechanical soundtrack that's nearly extinct in today's world of turbos and hybrids. Acceleration pins you back into the seat, the rear tires bite into the pavement, and suddenly you realize this isn't just nostalgia. It's a muscle car with genuine firepower. On a straight stretch, the Rebel machine surges forward effortlessly, delivering that old-school punch but with modern control. The steering feels sharper than expected, dialing in confidence through sweeping corners, and the suspension manages to balance aggression with livability. Push it harder, and while you'll feel the weight, it never becomes sloppy. Instead, it feels planted, eager, and surprisingly sophisticated. Here's the twist. On paper, it's not the fastest in its class. The Mustang GT edges it in outright speed, and Dodge's electrified Charger can out-sprint it in short bursts. But behind the wheel, numbers don't tell the full story. The Rebel machine feels alive, connected, and visceral in a way that spec sheets can't capture. It's less about shaving tenths of a second and more about delivering that grin-inducing rush every time you drive it. And then comes the shocker, the price-to-performance ratio. With a projected starting price under $50,000, you're getting nearly 500 horsepower, a manual gearbox option, and a driving experience that rivals cars costing far more. It's not flawless, fuel economy is forgettable, and interior space lags behind some rivals. But the overall package hits harder than many expected. So the big question remains, is the Rebel machine just a stylish throwback? Or is it a serious contender for muscle car supremacy in 2026? That answer is coming in our final verdict, and trust me, you'll want to hear it. So after spending time with the 2026 AMC Rebel machine, the verdict becomes clear. This isn't just a heritage badge slapped on a modern chassis. It's a genuine attempt to bring muscle car soul into today's market. The pros are undeniable. Aggressive retro modern styling that commands attention, a naturally aspirated V8 that delivers raw, unfiltered performance, and a price point that undercuts much of the competition without skimping on presence. Add to that the option for a manual gearbox, and you have a package that speaks directly to purists who crave the driving experience more than the spec sheet. Of course, there are trade-offs. Fuel economy is predictably poor, interior space is tighter than some rivals, and in terms of pure acceleration, it doesn't quite match the numbers of Ford's Mustang GT or Dodge's electrified Charger. But here's the catch. The Rebel machine doesn't need to win every stat battle. What it wins is the emotional one. The sense that you're driving something with character, with heritage, and with a roar that refuses to be silenced by the shift toward quiet, efficient motoring. For buyers, the Rebel machine is best suited to those who want muscle without compromise, enthusiasts who value sound, feel and presence over hybrid badges or EV range figures. In a US market that's rapidly evolving, This car plants its flag firmly in the old-school camp, reminding us why muscle cars became legends in the first place. And in doing so, it also raises a fascinating question. Is there still room for pure gasoline-fueled muscle in the future? Or is this the last great stand before the EV wave takes over? Either way, the 2026 Rebel machine makes its mark. Bold, unapologetic, and unmistakably American. But now it's over to you. Is this the kind of muscle car you'd put in your garage? Or do you think the future belongs to electric power? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed this review, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the cars shaping tomorrow's roads. Imagine a muscle car that vanished from American roads for decades, only to roar back in 2026 with a modern twist. The new AMC Hornet isn't just a revival, it's a bold attempt to blend old-school attitude with today's performance and tech. Some say it's a forgotten classic reborn for a new generation, while others believe it may never live up to the legends it's trying to follow. But is the Hornet truly the muscle edition that will shake up the modern market? Or just nostalgia wrapped in fresh metal? Let's find out. The AMC name hasn't been on a dealership lot for decades, but in 2026 it's making a surprising comeback with the Hornet Muscle Edition. For car fans who remember the golden era of American performance, AMC was always the underdog, bold, different, and willing to take risks. Now the Hornet returns as a modern muscle machine aimed at buyers who want the raw spirit of the past, but with today's comfort and technology built in. Positioned between nostalgic collectors and a new generation of drivers hungry for something unique, this launch is more than just another release. It's AMC's statement that it still belongs in the muscle car conversation. But does this reborn Hornet have what it takes to stand out against modern legends? We're about to find out. From the moment you lay eyes on the 2026 AMC Hornet Muscle Edition, it's clear this isn't just a nameplate revival, it's a bold statement. The design strikes a balance between retro and modern. A wide, aggressive grille sits front and center, flanked by sharp LED headlights that nod to the past, but feel distinctly 2026. The muscular stance, sculpted hood lines and wide rear haunches scream performance before you've even touched the ignition. It's the kind of styling that makes you want to stop and take a second look, whether it's parked on the street or rolling up at a car meet. Step inside, and the story continues. The interior doesn't try to overwhelm with gimmicks, but instead blends classic cues with modern convenience. A flat-bottom steering wheel, metallic trim accents, and deeply bolstered sports seats remind you that this is built for drivers who care about control. Yet, there's also a massive infotainment screen with seamless smartphone integration, customizable digital gauges, and premium touches like stitched leather surfaces. It feels familiar, yet forward-thinking. A cockpit ready for weekend cruising or daily commutes. But here's where things really get interesting. Performance. Under the hood, the Hornet Muscle Edition offers a turbocharged V6 with over 400 horsepower. Plenty of muscle for a name that demands respect. Power delivery is smooth but urgent, with a low growl that quickly builds into a roar as you push the pedal down. Paired with an advanced 8-speed automatic and available all-wheel drive, the Hornet doesn't just sprint off the line, it grips, corners, and plants itself with surprising confidence. It's not trying to be a pure drag strip monster like the Dodge Challenger of old, but rather a more balanced muscle car that adapts to modern roads. Of course, no car is perfect. The Hornet's size means rear seat space is a little tighter than some rivals, and while the suspension is tuned for agility, it can feel firm over rough city streets. Yet those compromises might be a fair trade for enthusiasts who value sharper handling and that unmistakable driver's car vibe. Technology and safety also play a big role here. You've got adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, a head-up display, and even a performance data recorder for track days. It's clear AMC wants this car to be more than nostalgia. It's aiming to compete with today's standards while keeping that rebellious edge alive. And then there's pricing, something that might surprise you. AMC knows it can't just rely on heritage to win over buyers, so the Hornet is expected to undercut some of its bigger-name muscle rivals. The question is, will that make it a hidden gem for enthusiasts, or does it signal corners cut somewhere we haven't uncovered yet? Either way, the Hornet has positioned itself as one of the most intriguing comebacks in recent memory. But here's the real test. How do these bold promises hold up in real-world driving, and does the value truly match the hype? Stick around, because the results might surprise you. And then comes the moment of truth, the drive. Sliding behind the wheel, you're greeted with that low, throaty rumble as the Hornet comes alive. On paper, 400+ horsepower sounds solid, but in motion, it feels like the car's been waiting decades to prove itself. Acceleration is sharp and immediate, pushing you back into the seat with the kind of force that makes your pulse quicken. The Turbo V6 doesn't just deliver numbers, it delivers personality. With a growl that builds into a roar as you climb through the gears. But here's the twist. It's not just about straight-line speed. AMC has given the Hornet a chassis that actually wants to dance. Take it through a winding back road and you'll find a balance of grip and agility you wouldn't expect from a name tied so heavily to brute muscle. The steering is precise, the suspension planted, and the confidence it inspires puts it in the same conversation as cars with much higher price tags. Of course, it's not flawless. Push hard on rough pavement, and you'll feel every bump. It reminds you this is still a performance-first machine. And while the cabin tech is slick, some might find it a step behind the polish of its more established rivals. But when you're flying down an open stretch of asphalt, carving corners with a grin plastered across your face, those nitpicks fade into the background. This is the turning point where the Hornet stops being just a nostalgic experiment and starts feeling like a genuine contender. It doesn't just bring back a forgotten badge, it gives it new meaning. And the question lingering now is simple. Does all this excitement add up to a car worth buying, or is it still a gamble in a market full of heavy hitters? That's exactly what we'll answer in the final verdict. So, what's the final word on the 2026 AMC Hornet Muscle Edition? After spending time with it, one thing is clear. This isn't just a nostalgic name slapped on a modern shell. It's a car with real muscle, real personality, and a surprising amount of balance for a newcomer in today's performance market. The Hornet proves that AMC didn't return just to remind us of the past. It came back to earn its place among the present. The strengths are undeniable. Bold styling that stands out in a sea of sameness. A cabin that blends retro charm with everyday usability. And most importantly, performance that doesn't just flash numbers, but delivers a genuine thrill every time you drive it. Add in competitive pricing, and you've got a muscle car that's accessible to both enthusiasts reliving the old days and younger buyers searching for something different. But we have to be honest, the Hornet isn't perfect. Rear seat space is tight. Ride comfort can feel harsh on rough roads. And while the technology suite is solid, it's not quite as polished as rivals from Dodge or Ford. Those compromises mean this won't be the ideal daily driver for everyone. Instead, it's best suited for buyers who want character over conformity, performance over plushness, and the pride of owning something that feels rare and distinctive. In today's US market, where many muscle cars are fading into history books, the Hornet stands out as a sign of resistance. It's proof that there's still room for excitement, for individuality, and for brands willing to take risks. Whether it sparks a wider trend of reviving forgotten legends remains to be seen. But the Hornet has already proven one thing. Muscle isn't dead, it's just evolving. Now the big question, would you take the keys to the Hornet over a Mustang, a Camaro, or even a Challenger? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed the review, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the cars shaping our future.